Hi, this is Taryn Grome, editor of Pharma Voice. We met with numerous inspirational thought leaders at this year's DIA annual conference as part of our Editors Take video series. I hope you enjoy this discussion.
In this episode, we meet with Mark Engelhart, Chief Commercial Officer, ACM Global Central Laboratory.
In recent years, clinical trial protocols have grown immensely in terms of cost and complexity. What considerations should biopharmaceutical companies and clinical research organizations have when planning for clinical diagnostic testing?
Well, there's a huge laundry list of practical considerations. Everything from the patient population, that can drive the way you take samples and the testing you do. The duration or turnaround time required, how fast you need the results, or can they be batch tested? The locations, again, that drives things like logistics. So there are 100 more practical considerations in conducting a trial. The kind of big consideration in the sky, though, is to make sure that what you do, what you ask the lab partner to do, matches the outcomes of your study. It sounds like a very obvious approach, but you'd be surprised. People just come and present us with a test menu and say, do it, often which has inefficiencies or even redundancies in tests that are unnecessary, things like that. So having a where do you want to end, what's your, where do you want to be, and then what's the information you need to support that, and then the tests that give you that information. That's the approach that we look to take with our clients.
How does this approach help drug developers overcome the challenges frequently encountered during the clinical trial process?
Yeah, it sounds like a very obvious approach, that begin at the end, begin on the outcomes you need to support the hypothesis of the study. But it's, again, folks approach it from the test menu out instead of the results you ultimately want and then work your way back into what tests you do. So it really provides a really good framework for thinking about the study, and it leverages our expertise and experience. Any central lab should be able to guide you in this whole process by leveraging what they know and how to do it.
How can smarter testing help mitigate risk as trials move toward a risk-based monitoring or RBM approach?
Again, one of the interesting things about the work that's been done primarily on risk-based monitoring now, so the whole concept of is source data verification worth it or not, pretty conclusive that it's not. But what's interesting is that all of that work has not included laboratory data, which is 60% of the data surrounding a patient or a study. So it's to me a really good next step opportunity to introduce and start factoring in lab data, because you can find things. It doesn't have to be an overt adverse event, for example, but a set of lab data could tell you, even though the patient's not showing a symptom, you're getting a drift. There's some related potential toxicity with the drug. So it's a very obvious next step for me, is incorporating lab data and leveraging it in risk-based monitoring strategies.
Can this approach be included as part of an adaptive trial strategy?
Absolutely. Again, that's an adaptive trial. You should approach it at inception, right? You don't just make it up as you go along. So this goes right with that we want the ability to go on this path or this one, depending on what our results are. Well, again, that's our outcome. That's one of those outcomes. We want to be able to move this way, left or right in the trial. So that's the outcome. What endpoints would tell you, go left with this patient population, go right with that one. And therefore, what tests best illuminate that choice.
For more information on this topic, visit our Thought Leaders website.
For more Editors Take videos from the 2015 DIA Annual Conference, visit www.pharmavoice.com. Thanks for joining us.